Everyone has their own destiny and path in life, their joys and sorrows, and their purpose. But no matter how blessed or unfortunate your life may be, the most important is not to break down, not to lose sense of who you are, and pass the most important trial in life, the trial of humanity. My grandmother has always been very close and dear to me. She's very old now, but as before, she still lives alone in her small Ukrainian village, refusing to move to town to be with her children. You can't plant old trees over again, she used to say. When I see her working around the house and farm, at her 93, my heart aches. Since I'm able to walk, I still want to do things, she says. No matter how hard it is to live on your own, she would never be able to leave this village, her house, these old ash trees which she planted as a young woman. Every corner here is filled with memories of her life. I remember myself coming here every summer, and that's why my childhood was so happy and unforgettable. In youth, all girls dream about big dolls and beautiful dresses. I had none of that, but the feeling of happiness and peace never abandoned me. I loved everything here, scents and sounds of that old house, tall trees around it, this small village with its peaceful life, and the beautiful meadows nearby, filled with wild flowers, where I lay quietly, admiring the wonders of nature. In the evenings, when all the farm work was done, Grandmother Anicia told me stories of her life. She was born before the Russian Revolution. Her mother died when she was just a child, leaving her and her sisters under the care of her older brother Ivan, who later became a priest. She was lucky to learn how to read and write in her childhood, as well as to sing gospels. Singing became her favorite thing, and she never abandoned it. She sang at home and at church.
Отче наш, иже еси на небе, все Отче наш, да приидет царствие Твое, Отче наш.
My grandmother had a hard life.
І голодна. Не жила, примусилась, і живу.
She survived the famine of 1933, which claimed over 10 million lives. The typhus outbreak, when entire families perished. She survived even after being sick. World War II, when bombs fell around her house, claiming the lives of many fellow villagers. During that time, she hid a Jewish family in her house. It was very risky, but she saved them from Hitler's soldiers. She also lived through the horrible time of Stalin's purges, when innocent people were sent to prison or exile in Siberia. She told me of a woman from her village who picked a few grain spikes from already harvested fields to feed her children. The woman was declared enemy of the state and exiled to prison in Siberia. She never made it back to the village.
Не маєш права брати, бо то казенне. Хто тобі дасть? Були поля свої, то здали в колгосп, забрав колгосп. Поля у мене немає, а все у колгоспі. А як ти береш у колгоспі, то ти розшатуєш колгосп, щоб не було. Тебе судять за те. І не давали колосків. О, Боже, Боже.
People lived in constant fear. You are lucky. You don't know what living in fear is like, she used to say. In the same manner, her husband and 2 sisters were exiled. She was left alone with 2 children. It was very tough. She had to manually plow and seed alone. Nobody was around to give her a hand. Nobody was around to feel for her. She lived on a shoestring. On top of everything, a fire occurred, and all she managed to save was herself and her children. The days after, she worked hard to rebuild her house. And at night, she weaved linen to make clothes for herself and the kids. I was listening to her and found it hard to believe how much suffering one person could bear. Grandma, how did you manage to survive? I asked. That was my fate. Everything is God's will, she answered. Her fate had one more trial for her to face. She buried her son, whom she loved so dearly. Carry your cross and believe. That's exactly what she did her whole life. Having suffered and endured so much, she didn't cease to cherish life. She remained a kind and giving person who loved people, the land, and everything around her.
Ой, Боже, добрий день.
I don't remember her yelling or speaking bad about anyone. It was so nice and cozy with her. I remember a time her neighbor was yelling because her chickens went to his backyard. She apologized and later prayed for him, asking God to give him wisdom and kindness. Grandmother, what do you think is happiness?
Як тяжко. Як здоров'я є, то і все є. А як нема здоров'я, що ти зробиш? Що вона зробить, як здоров'я нема?
Grandmother, what do you want the most?
Що ж мені бажає, як це хтось жив, як я колокой жила?
Are you afraid of dying?
Вмирать не страшно. Ні, пострадати страшно.
People say that life was not lived in vain when someone was able to plant a tree, build a house, and raise a child. She did all that. And one more thing she was able to do. She gave me so much love that it warms my heart till now.
Ти